I didn't have Real American. Real American's the better one. It certainly is, and we'll talk about that. But welcome to Wrestling Over Everything, everybody. I just said it certainly is, so we're off to a good start. Follow us on all of the socials, on YouTube and your favorite podcast app, most importantly. But we're everywhere else. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. Check us out. But we had a whole thing planned today, didn't we, Dusty?
We did indeed. Also, hey, brother.
Oh yeah, this is my friend Dusty.
Good.
Sorry, I didn't say the thing that I normally said. I got off the route,
right?
So I didn't introduce you. I apologize.
Well, we're flying by
with
the seat
me
of
as
our
always
pants,
is
so
Dusty.
This is, and with me as always, yeah.
Yeah,
we were gonna do.
What are we gonna do today?
We were gonna do. I was ahead. I had watched the match. I had very funny notes about Halloween Havoc 1997, Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. Eddie Guerrero shredded to the gills for Halloween Havoc 97.
And we'll still do that.
And we'll still do that. Yes, we need to.
2 weeks.
We need to have a calibration for how we view the greatest matches in history. But then, this very morning, I was outside raking leaves because I'm a homeowner, and that's a thing that I have to do. And it came across on my news alert. Terry Bollea had passed away. Famed pro wrestler, maybe you've heard of him, Hulk Hogan, passes away at the age of 71 years old. So I immediately sent that news to Andrew, and he's like, we need to pivot. We got to do a Hogan.
Yeah.
We got to do a Hulk.
There aren't many. I don't know if when Vince McMahon dies, that might be the only bigger one alive. That was alive yesterday. Yesterday, the most important, if I asked you yesterday, what's the most important wrestling death that can happen? Do you say Hulk Hogan or do you say Vince McMahon or do you have another one?
I think it's Vince. I think Vince is slightly over Hogan, only because there's the business side of it. There's like the monolith. Like Hogan's the biggest wrestler whose job was primarily wrestling, who could die, but the biggest.
I also think once it gets to the public, like once the normies start reacting to it, I think Hulk might be bigger than Vince, but within wrestling, it's probably does that make sense? And would you
I guess for the mainstream public, it's probably Hogan because Hogan was public facing for so long, and he was part of two. I mean, so was Vince, but not in the same way. Like he was part of two giant booms of pro wrestling.
of course,
that everybody watched.
Well, and if I tell you one thing, if I told my girlfriend before yesterday, if I said Hulk Hogan to her, immediately Hulk Hogan pops up in her head. She knows exactly what he looks like. She's never watched wrestling intentionally one time in her life.
Right.
If I said Vince McMahon, no idea. And I think that goes for a lot of the public,
That's a zilch. Is Vince to the non-initiated. I was thinking about it, and I think and we'll dive into his the match that we picked, and we'll do some overview on his career and life and so on. But I think Hogan is first or second on the on the visibility list. I think Hogan for visibility might be 1, and Steve Austin is 2. And then The Rock.
What do you mean by visibility?
As far as mainstream normies, as you would call it.
I think it's got to be The Rock. He's the biggest movie star in the world. I mean, he's not the biggest. He's one of the biggest movie stars in the world.
Yeah, but I guess if you asked wrestler, who's the most famous wrestler, there's a whole generation of people that don't know that The Rock was a pro wrestler.
I feel like if The Rock died, that would be I think that might be we might have to reverse and go, in terms of public lexicon. I think if The Rock, I mean, because The Rock's much younger.
Yeah.
If The Rock, and he's like the most followed person on Instagram in the world, or one of them at least. It would
Yeah.
be like The Rock, and then Hogan, and then Vince, I think. And no, if it's public, The Rock, Hogan, Austin, Vince, I think.
Yeah. Do you see? I was wondering today, like, so though I think in any order, you probably have the order right, but I think those are the top three, right? Is Rock,
Yeah.
Vince, Hogan, or Rock, Vince, Austin. How far down do you think the next guy is, and who do you think that guy is?
Oh
Because I was
shit.
trying to figure that out today. Like, does the Undertaker punch through into the mainstream like at all?
Yeah, a little bit, just because of the sit up and the choke slam. So I think he does. And I think that might be the next one, because it's like, in Sting is not going to do it that much. Sting's going to matter. A lot of people are going to be talking about Sting. Sting's going to get to the mainstream, but it's not even going to be close. I think Undertaker would be more than Sting. Cena,
Or
I mean, just because he's so
oh
young.
yeah,
If Cena, if but
I
we probably should do how old's Undertaker?
I think he's in his 60s. He might
Yeah,
be.
we should probably do like a 60 and older division for this conversation, because
I think
the
it's
younger guys,
I think it's Undertaker or Flair. And the
and even
only
Flair, like if I asked my girlfriend about Ric Flair, she would not know who the fuck it is,
yeah,
like, at all.
but he's got like the ESPN documentary. He's got like a Netflix.
He's very famous, for
Yeah,
sure.
so I think like those things kind of punch through. I think him and Undertaker are probably tied for whatever fourth place is. You know,
Yeah, and it would depend on who you're talking to, because the older guys would know Ric Flair pretty well, but I think I would edge the Undertaker a little bit,
mm,
if it happened tomorrow, and because he's 60, if we make the line 60,
yeah.
so that eliminates The Rock. Does that eliminate Austin?
No, I think Austin's. Well, he might be on the line. No, he's older. I think he's older than The
He is.
Rock.
I think he's 61. He's gonna
Yeah,
be 61 this year. So, yeah, it's Austin over the Undertaker by a lot, but the Undertaker, I think, would matter a lot.
yeah. So I think it's like those are the top three. Then there's a huge fall off as far as public
Yeah.
like exposure, and then it's probably the Undertaker or Flair.
And
And
then,
I
I mean, what do you get to? I mean, you might even go to like a weird, like a Rikishi situation, that people just know the stink face, so everybody, like, that made it to the public. It's like,
yeah, who was
because,
Jeff Hardy maybe because he was
yeah,
huge in
people love
the
the Hardy Boys. It's
yeah
gonna be an Attitude Era person. It's not gonna be like Dean Malenko or some shit that's just like a
right
great wrestler. Rey
or
Mysterio would be pretty big.
Ray would be big. Like Jake the Snake doesn't have the same pub. Like
You'd have to get like mid-40s men.
probably Foley. We didn't even think about McFoley.
Oh yeah, Foley matters a lot too. I think
I
Foley's probably a little. He's like right with Undertaker, I think.
Yeah, well, because he has the books and he's been on a lot of stuff and he's been around. So, and he's famous. Like the Hell in the Cell is a thing that
Falling off
people
that
have.
cell, yeah.
Yeah, is a thing that people have seen. Diamond Dallas Page is pretty up there just because the DDP yoga
He
kind
should
of
be more
stuff.
up there.
Yeah. But in any case, yeah, I think Vince is the next biggest uh, one here. But that's today. We're not focusing on the future death of Vince McMahon. Instead, we are focusing on Hulk Hogan, again, who passed away today. So we decided to pivot and we decided to watch Andrew's recommendation, which I like a lot, which is the WrestleMania 18 match from Toronto and the Sky Dome in 2002. I believe it's March 17th, 2002. Yep.
I really wanted to watch a good Hulk Hogan match.
Yeah.
And this might be the only one. So By the way, I forgot to tell my joke at the top. You want me to
Oh
tell
yeah,
the
yeah.
joke real
Do
quick?
I need to set you up?
No, I'll just say
Okay.
yeah, Hulk Hogan died today. The Grim Reaper must have showed up with a tan.
When he got back to
Huh?
hell, he had a tan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was down to put the Grim Reaper over. You know what I mean?
Look, Hogan will occasionally do the job for the bigger star. You know,
Yeah.
the Grim Reaper's
If he shows up pale, it's a problem.
yeah, the Grim Reaper's been the Grim Reaper's been going over forever, you know.
Yeah, that's not gonna work for me, brother. And then
Yeah.
he
Luckily
comes back with
Bishop
a tan. He
yeah,
hasn't drank in a few weeks. Then
Bishop
Hogan will
he
lay it
didn't
down
show up
for
in a
him.
bodysuit. Bischoff
Yeah.
wasn't there to veto it, you know.
Yeah.
Um so WrestleMania 18, have you seen this Rock Hogan match before?
No.
Okay.
And what year was this? Is like 2002 or something?
This is 2002, March the 17th.
So this was like when I was watching wrestling. So, but I never once watched a pay-per-view when I watched wrestling. It was
Right.
always, I never even asked my parents because they would have laughed me out of the house.
The audacity to ask to purchase a pay-per-view.
They would have been so mad at me for even asking. So like, but I remember when the Outsiders and Hulk came to the WWE. I remember hating them. I remember being like, who are these freaking guys? This guy thinks he can beat The Rock. Like, but I knew Hulk Hogan was the man. Like, I knew Hulk Hogan was like Hulk Hogan just because I've seen Three Ninjas. You know what I mean? Like, I know that face.
I've been to High Noon at Mega Mountain. Of course I have.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So I think this is the time that I was watching wrestling, but I don't know.
Yeah, so this is, of course, WCW goes out of business in March of 2001. But because of the accounting of WCW, Time Warner is actually responsible for the contracts of WCW. And when the WWE goes to buy out those contracts, they offer everybody essentially like 50 cents on the dollar for these contracts. And Nash and Hall and Hogan are all more than happy to sit at home and wait for their contracts to expire or until the WWE comes in with a better offer.
Yeah.
That's not going to work for me, brother. So
I'm not going to work for you, brother.
So in January of 2002, Hulk Hogan, or I'm sorry, Vince McMahon, kayfabe loses control of the WWF to Ric Flair because the ownership of his company was put up in a wrestling match because that's how wrestling works. So
wrestling rules.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
It's and so Vince decides he's going to kill his own company. He keeps using this phrase, I'm going to inject a lethal dose of poison into the WWF, which he then reveals to be, he's sitting in a chair and he goes, I'm going to infect the WWE with lethal poison. And he turns around and the NWO logo is on the back of the chair. Never say that Vince didn't miss a chance to be a showman.
Is it like a piece of paper with NWO, or is it like they had a chair made?
No, it's like a plaque because it's nice. You know,
it's fancy.
Yeah, you're
okay.
So the NWO of Nash and Hall and Hogan returned to the WWF in February of 2002 at the No Way Out pay-per-view, where they immediately get involved with The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So
because of
course. And so they want to do Hogan versus Austin, but Austin doesn't want to wrestle Hulk Hogan. I don't really remember the reason why, but he was not into it. So at this show, Austin actually wrestles Scott Hall, who he also didn't want to wrestle at this event. So
all right, I'll wrestle one of them sacks of shit.
I'll take on the fucking bad guy.
I am not wrestling Nash. I can tell you that. I'm not wrestling that sack of shit.
Well,
I'll kill Hulk Hogan. Kevin Nash will kill me.
Give
me Scott Hall.
Hall is on, I forget the name of the medication, but he's on like anti-alcohol medication. Like he can't drink or he has a violent physical
Oh,
reaction.
it's that stuff
to
that makes you really sick.
Yeah, so he's on that, and he's not particularly motivated by his own admission
He
to
looked
be
really
there.
like swollen in
Yeah.
the pre package.
And so they have Nash on the outside for that match because they were like, if Hall washes out before this match, then we at least have Nash that can do this match with Austin, right?
Yeah.
So then they decide, okay, well, we'll do the Rock versus Hulk Hogan, Icon versus Icon, and the first night where they get together face to face and they basically lay out the match. The Rock challenges Hogan to this match. It's electric on Monday Night Raw when these two guys are in the ring staring at each other. It's awesome. Like you could feel it. They then they go to shake hands. The Rock holds on to Hogan and hits him with a rock bottom, and then goes to leave. The NWO jumps him, hits him in the head with a hammer.
Fuck.
To knock him out.
Not a hammer.
Not a hammer to the back of the head, dude. That's the most dangerous part of the head.
Fuck.
And then they put him in an ambulance, and the NWO take the ambulance. They beat up the ambulance workers, throw them out, and then they chain up the ambulance. And Hulk Hogan hits the ambulance with a semi truck to apparently kill the Rock. No police are called. The Rock, essentially.
Listen, that's just the type of chaos that this guy was planning on injecting. Okay.
There it is. Yeah, that's how you inject poison, via semi truck.
That freaking crazy Vince face.
Yeah,
I wish he wasn't a sex criminal. Jesus Christ.
His selling of a lethal dose of poison was like 100%. He's on 100 on the Vince scale.
It's the Vince-o-meter.
Yeah, it's him announcing the teams from Survivor Series level Vince McMahon. And so, of course, they kill The Rock essentially with a semi truck, and then he takes like a week off, and he's back, and he's not even that mad that they tried to murder him because he's got this big match. Like, I'll get you in the wrestling ring.
All's fair in love and war. You know what I mean?
You know what, Hulk? Turns out I should have known better. Here I am thinking that you wouldn't run me over with a semi truck. I've thrown Steve Austin off a bridge. We've all done a crazy thing or two.
We all do stuff we regret.
Yeah. So in the lead up to this event, there's a 3-on-2 handicap match where The Rock and Austin fight the NWO. And Hogan pins The Rock with a leg drop in the lead up to this match. And so
that's surprising.
That
tell you.
That
should have told everybody.
Yeah.
That Hulk Hogan's going to lose this WrestleMania match, because that was his bargaining chip. Yeah. Like, okay, brother, listen, I'll let him get me, but I got to get him at least once.
Yeah. Well, the classic Hogan move is to promise a series of matches and be like, well, I got to win the first one, and then never do the series. That happened with him and Shawn Michaels.
Listen, that's so funny. Like, when we talk about like classic dickheads,
yeah,
right? And we talked about before this, like Prince. Like, Prince sent Prince went to the Emmys one. Oh, no, it wasn't the Emmys. I think it was like the Grammys one year, and Weird Al was in his section, and he sent Weird Al a letter that said that he was not allowed to look Prince in the eye for the entirety of the Grammys.
Yeah.
And Weird Al sent one back saying, okay, but you can't look in my eyes either. And then Weird Al found out later that Prince, this wasn't a personal thing. Prince sent that to every single person sitting in that section, got that letter.
And he also he requested a meeting with Sinead O'Connor to ask her to stop cursing in interviews because she's saying nothing compares to you.
Yeah.
And he was
and then she refused, so he got in a very aggressive pillow fight with her.
Where if you listen to her side of it, it's not as funny
No,
to her at all. She was like terrified that Prince was going to kill her. Uh,
it seems like he fucked her up with a pillow.
yeah, and so yeah, it's kind of just like Hulk Hogan. At the end of the day, you can count on to do carny grifter Hulk Hogan bullshit,
Yeah.
like at any opportunity that he can.
And
So
listen, everybody, I say it's hilarious. I acknowledge not a great thing to do to people,
yeah,
but it's just so funny when people are just that egomaniacal. Like, I mean,
and not good at it.
it's
He's so transparently a grifter.
I mean, this
Like
guy.
right. Yeah, it's like there I think we're taught there's a thing that we're taught in movies that like a grifter like a Danny Ocean from Ocean's 11 is like a suave, smooth talking. He'll talk you right out of your casino because he's so smart and smooth and cool. That guy doesn't exist.
Yeah,
That grifter doesn't exist. It's all just shitty narcissistic dudes who
just
aren't
selfish
good
weirdos.
at it. Yeah, like it's the same it's a weird like like off ramp, but like serial killers in movies, it's like everybody thinks it's like Hannibal Lecter or it's like a super smart person that's figured all this out. And in real life, it's always just some dumb person. Like
Just some
just
weird loser.
yeah, and so it's the same thing here where you're like, you want Hulk Hogan oddly to be better at his political machinations in wrestling because it seems like it would be so easy to spot. But you know, he grifted till he couldn't grift no more. Uh,
Which was today.
which
Today is
was
when he could grift no more.
this very day.
Yeah.
Um, so that's the build up to this match. As soon as Hogan's music hits, I thought the WWE on Peacock was being a coward by not playing Voodoo Child, which was Hulk Hogan's walkout song from whenever he was in WCW, because he understood coming out to the NWO theme like 30 other jabrones was not a smart move for the Hulkster. So he had his own entrance theme that they paid like $1.5 million to use the rights to Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. And it was
But
sick.
and it was awesome. But Vince was like, I'm not paying that. You're coming out to the Hogan to the NWO music. So I thought it was like a rights issue. And then I looked it up and it turns out he just came out to the regular NWO theme, which is
He's just
also
sitting there.
a takeoff of a Hendrix
Hulk
song.
like, no man, I want the Voodoo Child. And he's like, Vince is like, do I look like Eric Bischoff? Like,
do I seem a fool to you?
Are you then why are you trying to play me like Eric Bischoff? Because Eric Bischoff would have said yes to this shit.
Yeah.
I'm Vincent Kennedy McMahon. You can go fuck yourself. I own
What?
that other song now. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
I don't own Voodoo Child.
What does Vince McMahon look like? Does he look like a guy who pays $1.5 million for entrance themes? No, he does not. Then why are you trying to treat him like a guy who spends $1.5 million on entrance themes?
And he pulls out a gun. He says, "Say brother again, pal."
Yeah. The cheers for Hogan are immediate when he comes out. Like, even though it's the NWO music, even though he's clearly Hollywood Hogan, the crowd in Toronto does not care.
They don't give half a gall darn. This is heat, like, and it's not even. I can't like heat is almost like it's a different word than heat. This is like adoration, idolatry. Like, this is like, we are clapping for you for everything you've ever done for us. We're clapping for you because you are the hero making his one last stand. I don't care if you're supposed to be a bad guy because you're wearing a black shirt and you dyed your beard. Like,
yeah,
you're goddamn Hulk Hogan, and I want to see you win this one because you're the old. I mean, he's the old underdog in this one, you know?
Yeah, well, there's a perfect storm of things happening here that of course lead to Hulk Hogan being the babyface. The Rock comes out. The Rock also gets a big pop on his entrance. Like, the music's rocking. He's still the Rock at probably the height of his powers. He hasn't left to do major motion pictures and sitcoms yet.
Yeah. Make movies, baby.
So, but this
I think this is like his physical best too. Like he got too big. Eventually.
Yeah, he doesn't look like an insane monster
no.
like he does now. Like, the Rock here is a like fresh 29 years old, hasn't even turned 30, main eventing his 4th WrestleMania, I think.
What? No, he had just turned 30.
Oh, I thought
his
this is in
May
March.
2nd. Oh wait, no, he will turn 30 2 months later.
29. Hasn't hit the 30s yet. Still, still alive.
Free.
Yeah,
not 30.
He's like, and he's already like in the lexicon as one of the biggest stars in the world. Hogan, looking pretty good, 49 years old. The Hulkster taking care of himself with a lot of steroids, I would imagine. Yeah.
Taking care of himself. Like Vince is like, okay, so I beat it that one time. They probably aren't gonna come after me again. Do whatever you want. Just make it to the ring.
That lethal dose of poison turns out to be Demerol that he's shooting into his body. Like I said, there's like a perfect storm of things that come together to make Hogan the babyface in this match. Like, this is Hogan's first WrestleMania match in 9 years. Since WrestleMania 9, he has not appeared at a WrestleMania. It's also his first pay-per-view match since July of 2000 for whenever he last wrestled at Bash at the Beach 2000 for WCW. Don't know if you remember that particular event, Andrew.
No, but I never saw a good Bash at the Beach, and they never did anything good in 2000. So I know that show sucks ass. Is that the one with the guy on the roof?
No, that is the one where
the wall.
No,
that's his name.
No. This is the one where Vince Russo calls Hogan a big piece of shit in the ring and says that he'll go in the goddamn grave before Hulk Hogan appears on another WCW pay-per-view, which was true. He never appeared on another WCW pay-per-view. So Vince Russo, man of his word.
Oh man, I'm sure he was so bummed about that, getting to go home and fucking do nothing.
Yeah, and sue WCW for breach of contract. This is it. This is the whole match. Like, they could have done this and left the ring, and the crowd would have been fine.
This was Michael Jackson at the beginning of his halftime show, just standing there in silence for like 2 minutes.
Right, where they're like, is he gonna do the songs?
Yeah, what's this guy doing? It turned into a Family Guy bit. It was like, it was funny, and then it got a little less funny, but he kept doing it, so it got funny again. But you said Hulkster's 49 in this? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he's 49 years old.
Listen, his body looks pretty good. He definitely has HGH gut that he's trying to hold in with that weight belt. That weight belt is doing a lot of work. The weight belt has stretch marks on it. His pecs look great.
His arms are still.
Why didn't The Rock just stay like that? Why did The Rock have to become a monster?
Well, I think it's like he has nothing but time. It's kind of like Dave Chappelle or Carrot Top or any of those dudes that get like super ripped for some reason, where Carrot Top said whenever he was doing his residency in Vegas, all he could do was go to the gym and do his shows, and so he got like crazy ripped. And I think the same thing for The Rock. Also, I don't think The Rock, I don't know for sure, is doing steroids at this point. Like,
here. I thought you were saying now. I was gonna shut the studio down.
No. I mean now, like, he's a big dude and he's clearly got like good genes. Like, he's in really good shape here and looks like an athlete. Now he looks like the Thing from the Fantastic Four.
He very well could be doing steroids here, just because like it helps a lot. And not everybody does steroids becomes a freak monster. You have to do specific things and eat your balls off like he does,
Yeah.
But the Hulkster is his mustache is on steroids. Like
Yeah.
you know how Jimmy the rumor was that Jimi Hendrix would dip his bandana in acid
Yeah.
before he went on that. He dipped his bandana in D-ball and went straight out there.
I think it's under the bandana actually. That's why he doesn't take it off for most of the match.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's got a shot ready to go underneath.
Instead of razor blades, he's got a little syringe.
Yeah. But I like the minute they're out there, they're like the crowd is 100% invested in what's happening and also are 100% invested in Hulk Hogan winning this match.
Yeah,
Like
the crowd is very, very pro Hulk, but also like this is why I think we've talked about the wrestling crowds. Like I think that some crowds over chant.
yeah.
I think NXT kind of did that to us. Like the NXT like smart quote unquote, maybe ECW a little bit probably, but like for modern, it seems like there's a delineation of like the Nakamura, Asuka era of NXT when they ran the world, and now so like during this moment right here, the crowd would be yelling "Holy shit!" or "This is awesome."
Right.
Because the crowd just wants to participate. That wouldn't have been nearly as cool as these two guys staring and the whole crowd just losing their shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and like this is, I mean, nostalgia for like the flash bulbs going crazy, like
Yeah.
people having like now it would be everybody with their phone up taking the pictures of it, you know. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's now like all the chants in this match seem to be genuine in response to what's happening in the match, and now there is a lot more like the crowd entertaining themselves.
Yeah, and it's not chant after chant after
Right.
chant after chant, and like I said, ECW had some of that, so I can't like they had a lot of that, but like I can't wholly blame like that era of NXT or whatever or modern wrestling or anything like that. But it's like that the just the classic people reacting the way they react, and then every once in a while, Let's Go Rock pops up, or We Want Hogan, or like something like that. That's totally fine. But literally every time something happens, we have a "you fucked up" or "this is awesome" or "holy shit." Like we don't need that anyway.
Yeah, I think the famous story here is, of course, they weren't prepared for how over Hogan was going to be as a babyface in Toronto, and I really can't understand how they didn't think that this was what was going to happen. So like they talk about that on the fly, Hogan and The Rock essentially switched like alignments to where The Rock was a heel and Hogan was a babyface, and they do like the classic Hogan spots where they do the collar and elbow tie up, and Hogan shoves The Rock down, and like gives him the "bring it on" thing. Like they if they were pivoting, which is what everybody says, they did a really great job of doing it. But I really can't again understand how they didn't know that this was what the crowd was going to do. I guess they hadn't seen Hogan in a while. He's coming in. Toronto's a weird town for wrestling anyway, and it's one of Hogan's biggest like fan base pockets from the 80s. Like it all makes sense that he would be the babyface here.
Yeah, there's just a couple of like. Well, first of all, Hogan. I mean, nobody loved Hogan's farts more than Hogan, right? So like,
right.
I think even bigger than the Hogan, his instinct being, they'll cheer me because I'm Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan would think they're gonna boo me because I'm wearing this hat. Like they're gonna boo me because I'm doing all the heel stuff. Like and I'm doing such a good job of because I want them to boo me. They're gonna boo me. But and also he is for lack of a better term, outsider because he is coming from another place to come try to fight their guy, and he's Hulk Hogan, but he's like trying to pretend that he's not as good as The Rock. I could see why there's certain things why people thought he wouldn't be over, but it's like he's old-ish at this point. the N-word thing hadn't happened yet. Like
Right.
this was like Hogan's last stand.
Public goodwill for Hulk Hogan is probably at an all-time high here. Like,
it kind of was. I mean, it was. You could say the same thing for like WrestleMania 3. It's like public goodwill for Hulk Hogan went like this, and then went straight to the top. And from what I know, I wasn't alive for a lot of it, but like it went straight to the top, and then it just stayed at 100%. Everybody loves him unless you met him once, and then it. I mean the fall, the immediate steep fall to people hating him.
Yeah, it's
palpable.
It's the stock market crash ticker level of fall for Hulk Hogan. But I would also say that he was getting a lot of hate and a lot of flack from wrestling fans in the late WCW era. I don't know if you remember our Billy Kidman F the New Blood Hulk Hogan that we got. Like
the New Blood versus the Millionaires Club.
Yeah, people were sick of the shtick.
I want to watch some of that again sometime.
It's really terrible, but
it's so bad.
People were kind of were sick of him, but then he went away, and then like now he comes back and it's him versus the biggest guy. He's in the main event. Like it's all of these things.
I think that's fair. That's totally fair. So my steadiness was maybe a little bit overblown. Like you're right about that. Because I mean, even like I've never been the biggest Hulk Hogan fan because I didn't watch very much Hulk Hogan when I was a kid, and then you showed me all kinds of NWO bullshit, and like I'm like, why did anybody ever like any of this? Like he's never had a 2-star match in his life.
Yeah, it's all. Well, I mean,
he cheats every time.
it's all charisma. I have a thing later we could go over that's very funny that kind of shows the trajectory of Hulk Hogan. But this match is like, I mean, it's very simple. Everything Hogan does, they cheer. He clotheslines The Rock. 68,000 people cheer.
Yeah.
The Rock takes over on him at one point and starts doing like punches on the ground to him, and the crowd boos. Like there's a Rocky sucks chant, like a 1997 Rocky sucks chant in this match. That's insane for 2002. Like there's I am not finding when I was watching it that there's a lot to take notes on because there's not a lot of wrestling that happens. It's all as we would do do we still say vibes? Is vibes still good? To say
they're mostly saying the word aura.
Okay.
Now
the match is all aura.
Still works.
It's all vibes. It's all aura. The Rock puts on for The Rock a pretty decent sharpshooter in this match.
Lay off the Rock sharpshooter. Okay.
It's one of his better ones. It's not.
I always loved the Rock sharpshooter.
There's
he'd scream when he get it in every time, like it hurt him.
There's so much space between The Rock's leg and the other guy's legs, like whatever he's doing, the sharpshooter.
It's better than the. Is it the STF?
Yes, the John Cena STF.
It's better than the STF. In my
opinion. I was surprised Hogan taps. The ref gets bumped, so that it's not the end of the match, but there is a visual tap for the Rock sharpshooter, which I'm sure infuriated Bret Hart watching this match at home because Hogan never tapped to the real sharpshooter.
And he's like, come on, nobody's gonna tap to that. Like, but okay, two things about the tap. One, the tap pisses me off because of the ending of this match. Like, there's no reason for him to tap,
right?
And do that bullshit.
Yeah.
Because whenever I see something like that, I'm like, oh shit, okay, so Hogan's gonna win, but it's gonna be invalid because he tapped, and it's just gonna be another fucking Hulk Hogan match where there's no real conclusion because like nothing changes.
Yeah.
It's like all of Hulk Hogan's matches were like an episode of a sitcom where everything gets reset at the end.
Yeah. But, it turns out that they do save the community center. Like.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember what the second thing that pissed me off about the tap was. Well, if it comes back to me, I'll tell you. My bad, I lost it.
Then the Rock Hogan low blows the Rock and hits him with a rock bottom, which is like the first new move in Hulk Hogan's moveset in 10 years. Like he's it's not just rake to the back, big boot, body slam now. He's added the rock bottom to the repertoire. He's been in the lab working on it.
Listen, you sometimes you got to mirror. Sometimes you got to do you got to what was it? When you got to try to Khabib every once in a while. Oh, my other thought about the sharpshooter was that was when they still were wrestling as if Hulk was the heel. They hadn't made the switch yet, so they thought that was going to get the people to hate Hulk even more and get even more heat on the match. Yeah. When it didn't really do anything because everybody wanted Hulk to win anyway.
Right, the tap got booed by the fans. So
that might have been when they realized, like, we got to do something different, brother, because this is not going good.
Then The Rock hits Hogan with a rock bottom, and I remember this. I watched this live on pay-per-view with illegal cable at my buddy's house.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
And whenever Hogan kicked out of this and started doing the Hulk up, I was like, oh shit. This is the classic Hogan. Like, this probably wasn't a part of the original match where he hulks up out of it and the crowd is losing their mind. Like, they're losing their mind like it's 1986.
Yeah.
And Hogan's there with Paul Orndorff or King Kong Bundy or whoever. Like,
yeah.
They are, and then Hogan hits the big boot and the big leg drop for an incredible near fall. Like, I think
super good.
Yeah, I think in real time when I watched this, I thought, oh, Hogan's going to take it here. They're going to actually give it to Hogan. Then The Rock hits back-to-back rock bottoms on a Hogan that is now clearly like tired and kind of injured. Like, he's holding his side and he's like, I don't know if I'm going to get up for these, brother.
You sure you want to do the second one, brother?
we got to go ahead and do the second one. You're sure, brother? The Rock hits the.
Can you just do 2 elbows?
Yeah.
No? All
right. Rock hits it. What's that? Oh, you paid money for Mr. Nanny in the theater. I understand. Hit me with the other one. Rock hits the people's elbow. After that, The Rock wins in 16 minutes and 32 seconds to like. The crowd reacts poorly, but then they cheer once The Rock's music hits. Like they don't react incredibly poorly. They still cheer because like they saw something incredible, but like the universe went back to the regular alignment once The Rock's music hit.
That's kind of how I saw it. Was like they cheered because they saw something really cool that delivered. Like,
yeah.
That was listen, The Rock sold his ass off this entire match. Like, he sold that big boot. I mean, that leg drop better than I've seen anybody ever sell a leg drop. His like legs flew up in the air, you know?
Yeah.
And his kickouts were good. Like, this was like, I understand why this one didn't get 5 stars. Only because it was pretty short, right?
Yeah, well, we can talk about the
just,
star rating.
Could this have been a better match, like between these two guys? Like, I don't think so. Could it have been a more effective match? I don't know. So I don't know how you don't give this.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think the thing with with this match is there are, I guess you could say, versions of it that like maybe they do more, but they don't have to do more. There's like,
no,
this is perfect for what it is. And if they did, like, what are they going to do? The Rock's not going to do a Hurricane Rana like, or a moonsault or anything, and they don't need
one of them to start bleeding. You don't need to hit the Hulk Hogan over the head with a chair. Like, this they did exactly what they needed to do in this match. It was exciting. It was thrilling at times. There were times when you genuinely didn't know what was going to happen. It was surprising. There were. I mean, as you said yourself, like, they switched roles in the middle of the match, which is something that's a really like high level thing to do. It's just Like,
And
it's definitely, I mean, it's not even close. That's the best Hulk Hogan match I've ever seen.
You have, at the time, not even arguably, the two biggest stars in wrestling, one on one. No interference, no real bullshit. There's a ref bump, but like,
Which is, they just couldn't fucking help themselves, man.
Well, again, like you said, you point out, like, Hogan's gonna tap. He's not really gonna tap in this match, so you give him an out there where the ref's out for it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't think that there's a better constructed version of this match out there. Like, and clearly it didn't matter to the crowd. Like, if you'll allow me a brief nerdy sidetrack. So like,
I'll allow it.
in the Marvel movies, hold your groan.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hold your groan, I said.
I'm gonna turn my camera off.
all the movies take place on Earth 616. That's the regular. That's like where Iron Man and all those movies take place, right? But there's a
That's where we live.
That's the one that we live in, right?
Okay.
But there's the multiverse, and so today I went and watched Fantastic Four. That takes place on a different Earth. That's not the 616 canonical universe, right? For the Marvel movies. That is how this match felt. It's like, we live on Earth 616, but briefly for this match, we were transported to whatever other multiverse there was where Hulk Hogan's still a babyface and they're going to boo The Rock. And at the end of this match, as soon as you hit 3, the dimension closed and we returned to standard Earth where the Rock is a giant babyface. That is my brief analogy to the Marvel universe.
That's fair. That's fair. I listen. We were very close to a swirly, Dusty.
That's yes. If Homer Simpson had heard me, he would yell "nerd" from his car angrily at me.
1 out of 10 for Fantastic Four. One word. 1 out of 10.
Give it a 7.
That was 4 words, but okay.
Sorry.
7 is the
7.
answer.
7. 7.
7. So, yeah, it's. I mean, like I don't know if there's even much more to say about it. It's like, it would have been a perfect, like. I'm not. It wouldn't have been realistic to ask Hulk Hogan to go away forever after this.
Right.
But like, it would have been. I'm sure he would have loved for that to be what everybody remembered him for in his later years.
That's.
He did a great job in this match, and he played the crowd really well. The Hulk up, I marked out for the Hulk up a little bit.
Yep.
The Hulk up's sick. Like, it's dope. Like, when you see him start fucking shaking and like ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool, and I understand why everybody fell in love with him back in the day.
This after the match, the NWO of Hall and Nash, who had been asked by Hogan before the match to not interfere, because Hogan had to know if he was the best or not, come out and they start attacking Hulk Hogan after The Rock and Hogan shake hands. The NWO are like, "What the fuck? We're a lethal dose of poison. Did you forget? you don't shake hands with the poisoned." And so The Rock runs back. They beat Hall and Nash out of the ring, which really makes the NWO look pretty feckless in like pretty quickly. It's only been a month. Austin's beat Hall. Rock's beat Hogan. Nash doesn't even wrestle. So it's a pretty mild case of poison. That
Vince is giggling his balls off backstage.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys were going to beat me, huh?
you really thought I was going to let you come in here and get over on my guys? And so then, of course, they all pose. Like, The Rock kind of coaxes Hogan into the ring to do his poses, and the crowd could not be more ecstatic about this. There used to be an old adage, Bruce Pritchard talks about it all the time. The end of the pay-per-views, Vince would always say, Hulk has to pose. Hogan must pose to end the pay-per-views, because that's what the crowd wants. They want the ear cup. They want the fucking double gun show. They want the point to the stars. Like, hit them with the hits,
God, I just want I want to like flex in front of 62,000 people. and cheer for me
and have them cheer for you. Yeah,
like they won't go home happy unless Andrew goes out there and flexes for him. And I'm
yeah.
like, well, I guess I got to go out there and flex for him. And I'm
Oh,
flexing and sweating and it.
yeah.
What would you rather do? How about this? Would you rather, because of wrestling context, because it's like
Yeah.
if I said would you rather be in a band that plays freaking a stadium, it's probably that. But
Right.
would you rather go out and they'd be like, Dusty, you gotta go flex or everybody's gonna lose their minds. Then you go out and flex and everybody's throwing their panties at you and like the crowd's going wild and all that shit. Or you do the Stone Cold. People aren't gonna go home happy unless Dusty goes out there with 2 beers and bangs them together and pours them on his head and then asks for more beers and continues.
I think it's the beers for me. I think that's like the flex is cool, but I like the beers is such a.
I think it's the beers too.
Yeah, it's like such a cool moment, and you still get to do stunners to people. Like, the
those late stage Stone Cold things, like with the McAfee and all that, where he's just getting beer everywhere, and just stunnering everybody.
He could not care less. Like he's my wife wanted to point out, much like Machine Gun Kelly to Eminem, she commented that Hulk Hogan, his beard is weird.
The beard is weird.
The beard's weird.
It is. It's just a weird choice, man. I just don't understand. Here, we'll get it back up just so everybody can see it on the YouTube and on Spotify, because we have a video on Spotify if you want. That beard is weird. I don't understand how that became what we're doing.
Why does that make him villainous?
Yeah.
I guess because it's such a departure from his 80s look. Like
I want to see what it looked like when he dyed it. Like I want to see Hulk Hogan like combing the Just for Men in his hair and his beard,
and he's like
telling you stories about his past triumphs.
Yeah. No, I wrote the riff for Whom the Bell Tolls, and I showed it to Cliff.
I am Iron Man.
Ozzy saw me wrestle Andre in front of 70,000 people. He wrote Iron Man for me.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Ozzy. We love you.
Yeah.
So from what I know, unproblematic Ozzy. So I love Ozzy Osbourne.
Never did anything wrong his whole life,
except for that one bat. But
and those two doves.
He killed a couple doves too.
He bit their heads off. He had 2 heads off of doves too.
Oh goddamn. That's fine. I forgive him. But so Malcolm Jamal Warner died. Shout out to him too.
Yes.
Theo. So somebody tweeted. Theo Huxtable. Somebody tweeted today. Once again, Hulk Hogan is the third man.
That's good. That's very funny. It's Hulk Hogan, but whose side is he on?
Dude, but I watched that again today. Who is it saying? But whose side is it on? Is he on?
Bobby Heenan.
Oh fuck! I was hoping it wasn't Bobby Heenan because I think it's such a mistake. Like, why did you inject into everybody's ears that there is any question whose side Hulk Hogan is on?
If I can defend Bobby Heenan, which I love to do, I don't think they told.
Listen, he's my goat.
And a goat, yeah. I don't think they told the announcers who the third man was going to be, and it's Bobby Heenan just being the heel self that he is, that questions every action that Hulk Hogan does.
Oh, because if that's a great point, because if Bobby Heenan doesn't know that Hulk Hogan's about to turn on everybody, it is a very funny thing for Bobby Heenan to question the unquestionable.
Right.
He questions the guy.
He hates Hulk Hogan. He hates him so bad.
Listen, I should never have questioned Bobby Heenan. He's my boy. But when I was watching, I was like, that sounds like Bobby Heenan. Yeah. But I refuse to believe that Bobby Heenan would spoil this for everybody this.
At least that's what I think. I don't know for sure, but I don't think
that makes so much more sense.
If Heenan knew, he wouldn't have blown it, because that's a huge reveal.
That makes so much more sense.
So this match gets 3 stars from Dave Meltzer. I think it's one of those things. A fun experiment is to watch this match with the sound off. It's 1 star. It's really like the work isn't great. Like the actual wrestling's pretty terrible. But if you watch it with the sound on, I don't think I'm being hyperbolic. This is a 5-star match. Like, to me, this is 5 stars because it accomplishes the goal that it set out to do. It nails every box of the criteria of a great wrestling match. Like
and it's within the like most like consequential context in wrestling in terms of like this is your one shot, well not your one shot, but this is like your shot to do A1 legend versus A1 legend,
right.
main event. Well, they said main eventing WrestleMania, but surprise, surprise, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah. Well,
had to take that shot.
So, this only gets 3 stars.
He was even doing it when he wasn't running the company.
Yeah. This only got 3 stars from Meltzer, but it won the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Match of the Year for 2002.
It only got 3 stars from Meltzer.
Well, because he doesn't. At least then, I don't know if he does now. He was not taking into account the context around it or the crowd or any of that stuff. He's talking about the actual like work of the match, which I don't think you can remove those things because it's all part of the match.
Because you wrestle the match with the context in mind. Like they put this match together in the ring, knowing what this match meant, you know? So like, yeah. I just don't think that's fair. I think I wouldn't be mad at him with a 4.5 or something like that, because I even think like, I don't think the wrestling's as bad in this match as like a lot of Hulk Hogan matches. It's not like dynamic. It's not like he's not jumping out the sky, you know,
right.
we're not doing any 619s or Hurricane Ranas or, West Coast Pop.
Right.
But they are doing classic, like, manipulate the emotions of the audience wrestling moves. There's a lot of punching. There's some head holds. There's a bunch of changes in momentum. The Rock goes to hit him in the head with a chair because the Rock is starting to get pissed off, and he gets thwarted and then immediately clotheslined. Like it was just a smooth, really well done wrestling match. Like I want to see. We should make a list. We should do this one of these days. Find 3.5-star matches or 4-star matches and watch them and compare them to this match. Like every match, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee he gave a 3.5 to something that was way worse than this.
Oh, he gives he gives 3.25 to like undercard AEW matches that are like not any stars.
Oh yeah,
nobody really cares. Like there's
if Swerve Strickland farts, it's a 3.5 stars.
Yeah, and like his grading criteria has changed. It's so funny that a 3-star match won Match of the Year, because I guarantee you there are higher star rated matches in 2002 that didn't win Match of the Year. You know why? Because it didn't have 2 all-time stars.
Because it wasn't sick as shit like this one was. What a pay-per-view this was, by the way, in terms of like name value.
Yeah, this is like right when the bubble's gonna pop, essentially, for the Attitude Era. But as Andrew alluded to, funny enough, like this match doesn't go on last, and Chris Jericho has been very loud for many years and consistent that he was like, this has to go on last. What are you talking about? Like because he was in the world title match against Triple H, and he's like, there's no way we're going to go out there and like be able to keep the crowd after they have this match. And they're kind of put in a death spot, because after this is the women's title match between Jazz and, is it Trish Stratus and Lita?
Trish Stratus and Lita, yeah.
Which goes like 6 minutes, and then Triple H and Chris Jericho have to go out there, who don't have a good main event story for them to tell to really have the crowd heated up. And they have a perfectly fine match, but the crowd, as you like to, as to allude, like the phrase you like to allude to, like the crowd is flaccid at the end of this pay-per-view. Like Triple H gets his big win. He's the big babyface. He's come back from the quad injury. All of that. The energy of the crowd is spent at the end of this Hogan Rock match. So it's wild that they didn't put that on last.
Yeah, I when I was because on Peacock I still have ads. So like before I scroll, I like to guess which match is the one that I'm going to find.
Yeah.
You know, because you can see how long the when you're scrolling, you can see where the commercials are. So I look at the dots and I'm like, well, this match is, you know, that's those two dots are really close together, so that's a girl match for sure. And then like, and then so I'm like, okay, so this last, it's got to be the last one. This is The Rock and Hulk Hogan. So, but I'm scrolling and then I see them before the last dot, and I'm like, no, did they go so long they had to split this up?
Yeah.
Like, is this like an hour-long match? And then so I fast forwarded past the other one and I see Triple H walking to the ring and I went, no fucking way, dude. Like,
yeah,
I know he used to do that like later in his career, but I didn't even know, I didn't know he did that like in 2002. And I understand the champion, like you want the champion to go last when you can.
Yeah.
This is when you make an exception to that. You make an exception to that when it's The Rock and Hulk Hogan. Like that's a huge misstep.
Killed the crowd. But yeah, this is a pretty good show. There's not anything else that I remember being incredibly great. The Undertaker versus Flair is pretty good. And otherwise it's just a lot of names, and there's solid matches, but there's not anything that's like you got to seek out besides Hogan Rock.
Well, that's just, yeah, on name value alone, it's like this is a who's who of like 90s and 2000s wrestling. Yeah. It's like Rikishi, Scotty 2 Hotty, god damn it, and Mr. Perfect is on the first. I didn't know he was alive.
Yeah, I believe he passes away in 2002, but he is still alive.
Test also dead. Lance Storm, and then you've got Rob Van Dam, William Regal, Diamond Dallas Page versus Christian. Maven, LOL, versus Goldust, and then Kurt Angle versus Kane, The Undertaker versus Ric Flair, like all-timer in terms of like name value, Edge versus Booker T, Stone Cold versus Scott Hall, the Billy and Chuck, the APA, the Dudley Boys and the Hardys, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Jazz, Trish Stratus, Lita, Triple H, Chris Jericho. Like, that is just like a who's who card of wrestling. And I'm sure a lot of the matches weren't great, but it's like a lot of these were probably fun. Like I bet this was a sick show to go to, you know?
Yeah, well, and it's like packed. It's in Toronto, and it's like a really raucous kind of crowd, you know. The Undertaker and Flair gets 3 stars. The main event between Triple H and Jericho gets 3 stars. That's the high. Those are the highest rated matches on this show.
3-star matches.
Yeah, 1 star for Steve Austin versus Scott Hall. Rough for the Rattlesnake.
Listen, I love Scott Hall. I'm blaming him.
-1 star for Jazz versus Lita and Trish Stratus. He doesn't even do negative stars anymore. -0.5 a star for Maven versus Goldust. gotta tune in for that one.
Listen, I kind of like Maven's YouTube channel, by the way.
Yeah, I think he's got like a, you know, and he's interesting, and he gets a lot of good people on his podcast or his YouTube channel.
Yeah, he just had the Micker on there.
So to kind of like to cover the weight and breadth of Hulk Hogan, I think it's important to talk about how over Hulk Hogan was, because I don't think that it's hard for people to wrap their head around it, I think, because of all the later things that he did both in wrestling and outside of wrestling. I think it sometimes gets lost of how big and popular Hulk Hogan was in the 80s. Like,
yeah, he's one of those guys that, like, even to me, like, through watching this show, having this podcast and the previous podcast, that has changed a little bit to me, but like, it is Hulk Hogan was the guy with like the stupid hair and the reality show that I know used to be like super like on top of the world and one of the biggest, most famous people in the world, but now he said something terrible and got in trouble, and he had the sex tape where he talked about gas station sushi, which is hilarious, um, and there like it's just the downfall is interesting, and it's easy to have that represent him as a person. And if it does to you, like it's fine. But like the whole context of Hulk Hogan is like he's one of the biggest American icons, I would say. Like in
Yeah,
terms of pop culture icons,
I
like
mean, as far
I
as
don't know.
like the whatever you want to say, whatever the '80s were, like from the '80s to now, certainly. Like, and I think like look, the things later in his life, I don't want to undersell or
For sure.
undercut
Yeah.
like how terrible the things he said on that tape were and what an
Yeah. It was
awful
awful.
person that like revealed him to be, as well as all the other awful shit, not letting a union get started, the fucking people over in business deals. Like Hulk Hogan is not a great man by any stretch, and the how over he ever was, of course, does not exclude or does not like impugn him from all the terrible things that he did in any way.
But yeah, and the terrible things that he did doesn't eliminate the fact that he was so over. Like both
Right,
of those things exist, you
right.
know.
So it's a I don't even know if that complicated is the right word, but like there are two parts to it. Like he was this terrible person, but he's also responsible for wrestling being a mainstream thing. Like you can't tell the story of professional wrestling in any context that would be considered complete without a huge part of it having to be Hulk Hogan. Like
Were you when you found out this morning? Were you sad?
I think on one level, like Hogan was never my guy. I don't want to pretend that I was too cool for school, even as like a kid or whatever. But Hogan was never my guy the way that he was a lot of people's guy,
Yeah,
because
for
I
sure.
think I gravitated more towards the unexpected, because I think even as a kid I recognized pretty quick the Hulk Hogan formula, and we've talked
Yeah.
about how wrestling was ruined for me as a kid, where I went in pretty early knowing that wrestling was predetermined because of a very mean video store lady. uh and so like the Hulk ups and all that stuff never worked on me, because I was like, well, here's the part where he comes back and he's gonna Hulk up and he's gonna beat this guy, and like I found that much less interesting than say rooting for like Jake the Snake, who I never knew if he was gonna win his match or not. Plus Jake the
Yeah.
Snake had a snake. So
And
plus
that
10
mustache.
points for Jake the Snake. So but it's still,
Yeah.
yeah, like so it's not in the same way as it would be if it were somebody that I was more a personal fan of. But it's impossible not to not to understand the impact of Hulk Hogan, you know,
Yeah,
as
and
a pro wrestling
I don't
fan.
know, when anybody dies, when it's not Bin Laden or like Brian Koberger, the guy who killed those those kids in Idaho,
Yeah,
like there's a line to where it's like, okay, like I'm not gonna, but when anybody dies, it's like, Hulk Hogan was like an old insecure man who you could tell was bothered by the fact that he isn't as loved as he used to be.
right.
And he also had a lot of like, I know he caused pain for people, so I'm not discounting that at all, but he also felt a lot of pain. Like, I remember the episode of his show when he couldn't go to his, like, he uh was in his boat like passing his house, and like his daughter wanted to stop or something like that, and Hulk is just crying because his wife is there and he can't even go into the house and stuff like that. And it's like
Yeah,
there's a lot of sorrow there, and like he did make a lot of people happy throughout the years. He did inspire a lot of people throughout the years. Like Hulkster in Heaven was a lie, but I'm sure there's a bunch of kids out there that like attribute the way that they lived to Hulk Hogan saying "say your prayers and eat your vitamins" and like all those things. So like,
yeah,
and just thinking of anybody dying, especially dying like, and I'm projecting things onto him because I didn't talk to him, but like dying unhappy or dying unfulfilled,
yeah,
that makes me sad. But like, it for sure it wasn't like when Norm died or like when Robin Williams died or like if Disco Inferno dies,
right. Oh, noted good guy Glenn Gilberti also. Yeah, like
I love that I wish the guy that I pretended to love so much wasn't such like a political zealot.
yeah, a dude
Life.
that's real tough to root for.
I gotta pick a different gimmick to
um, but like, so just with the Wrestling Observer newsletter, you can kind of, it tells the story of Hulk Hogan, the professional wrestler, so vividly just from these screenshots that I took. So Hulk Hogan won Best Babyface from 1982 to 1991. Every year, it's Hogan. Uh,
That's
he
crazy.
he won Feud of the Year versus Paul Orndorff in 1986. He won Most Charismatic 85 to 87 and 89 to 91. I wonder who snuck in 88. Maybe a Flair. Uh,
That's
but
from Wrestling Observer.
from Wrestling Observer, yeah.
I'll look it up.
But he also won the reader's least favorite wrestler in 1985, 86, 91, and 94 to 99. So there's like the awards that Dave Meltzer gives out, and then there's the fan awards.
I'm
And
gonna
so,
guess 1988 Macho Man.
maybe Macho Man. You could most overrated 85, 86, 94 to 98 for uh for Hogan. Worst feud of the year versus the Dungeon of Doom. Worst feud of the year versus Sergeant Slaughter. Worst feud of the year versus the Warrior in 1998. Worst feud of the year in 2000 against Billy Kidman. Worst on interviews in 1995. Like, uh,
Jesus.
it's interesting. He won worst worked match in 1987, 96, 97, 98. uh, like, but he also won best box office draw in 97 while he was having all those terrible matches, because he's legitimately the reason that WCW ever made a dime of profit. Like, they don't get to the NWO because they probably go out of business if Hulk Hogan doesn't come in 1994. And he's awful. Those WCW years are terrible, but people literally were giving their eyeballs to WCW for the first time based on Hulk Hogan. Like,
Yeah.
and so
I found it. I found Most Charismatic.
okay. Is it Macho Man Randy Savage?
No, it's Sting.
Ah, okay.
Sting, and then Hulk Hogan, and then Akira Maeda, and then Ric Flair, and then Chikusa Nagayo, and then Anabolic Warrior got. Is that a guy?
Maybe that's a name
Maybe
for
that's
the
just
Ultimate Warrior. Yeah.
And then Savage was second, and then Road Warriors 2, and Jim Duggan and Rick Steiner.
Wow.
Hell yeah, Rick Steiner.
Hell yeah.
Way to get a Michael Hayes won Most Charismatic in 1981, by the way.
I mean, he's the most charismatic dude in Bad Street USA for sure.
Hell yeah, dude.
So like that really is Hulk Hogan. Like, he's.
That's a really good way to sum it up. And well, and that's anybody who gets it's funny that like human nature doesn't change, because like the most popular of anything also gets called the most overrated.
Right.
And like when Billy Joe Armstrong like says anything off color, every time a video comes out of Billy Joe Armstrong saying I'm not a part of the MAGA agenda, you look at the comments and it's just like they were never good anyway, and
right.
like they're
yeah,
screw those guys, they're not punk, and like all this stuff. And it's like, okay, so people are gonna hate anything, especially something that's super popular,
Well, and like the Wrestling Observer newsletter crowd is a specific subset of wrestling fans. Like you can even see it now. Like they care about the things that they care about, and Hulk Hogan is never going to be their guy. But like, Hulk. I wanted to look up the WCW contract Hulk Hogan had because it was insane that someone signed this contract. But
I talked about it on my radio show.
Yeah, that he was worth that much to the company says something about him.
By the way, you would love if I mean I know you're not a reader. I'm sure you've learned by now, but
some of the big words I still have Sarah sound out for me, but
it's going to be hard to see on the screen. Archive.org has old issues of the Wrestling Observer yearbook, so you can just flip through all the pages. Like,
cool.
Best on interviews. This has Jim Cornette by like a mile over Paulie Dangerously, Ric Flair, Jerry Lawler, and Road Warrior Hawk. Which surprising that Hawk is on there, but
yeah.
So and then it's just everybody talking about how good Jim Cornette is, and then there's also Most Obnoxious. You want to guess who won Most Obnoxious? It's on the screen.
In 1988.
1988.
Most Obnoxious. $1 Million Man.
Dusty Rhodes, baby.
Wow. Okay.
The
well,
American Dream.
This is when they've turned on Dusty. The worm had turned on the
really?
American Dream. Yeah, I think people were like, "Why is he keep putting himself in all the main events all the time?" Like, because it was common knowledge that he was also the booker. So it's like he's I wanted to end off with a couple of things. Just the character of Hulk Hogan. Well, first I found this thing that's funny. Like Hulk Hogan, calling himself Hollywood Hulk Hogan is one of the funniest things in the world because his career in Hollywood is unabashedly a failure. Like really, really.
You cut off calling himself what?
Hollywood Hulk Hogan is like so funny as a heel because his career is so clearly a failure. This is according to AI, so I'm sure 10 trees died so that they could give me this overview.
And it's also probably just completely false.
Yeah.
One thing I've been doing on my radio show is asking AI questions and then fact checking it and telling my listeners like how far off the AI got the answer. And then you tell AI that they were wrong. And then it's like, oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I was completely wrong about that.
Hulk Hogan's worldwide box office totals encompassing his leading roles in films is estimated to be, what is this? 576,253. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. 576,253.33. That cannot be right. Is that $576 million?
I mean, he was in a Rocky movie.
Well, but this is leading roles in films.
I mean, he was in a Three Ninjas movie.
Yeah, according to the figures.
I know, but if there's only 33 at the end, then that's a decimal point almost.
That's what I was thinking because I'm like $576,000 makes a lot of sense, but I'm sure No Holds Barred made at least a little more money than that. But I looked up his Rotten Tomatoes score for the more famed Hulk Hogan films. Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain. That's a big goose egg on the old Rotten Tomatoes meter.
That's a zero.
It's a zero. His highest rated film that is his film alone, I believe, is Suburban Commando at 15%.
Fuck.
And Mr. Nanny is at 6%. A ton of these don't have any like critic score at all. No Holds Barred, famously written by Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon on cocaine, has 10% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hell yeah, dude! I would love to write a movie on cocaine.
With
I have, I just never wrote it down.
Yeah.
For Mr. Nanny made $4.3 million.
Okay, that's
so we got to figure out that figure a little bit. It might be like 50 million. Like he might have a
yeah.
No, because what else made money? Because there's no way Suburban Commando made a lot of money.
No Holds Barred didn't make
8 million.
anything. Assault
Suburban
on
Commando made 8 million.
Assault on Devil's Island, I don't think was bringing it in.
I doubt Santa with Muscles charted very well.
Yeah. The audience score for Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain, 29%. Still not great, but that's
Santa with Muscles made $220,000.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's got to be a relatively small amount. My comparison was going to be the movie that The Rock goes to make after this WrestleMania 18 match is The Scorpion King, and The Scorpion King made $168 million, which is more than I imagine Hulk Hogan made his entire movie career.
Listen, I just need a script, brother. I need a good script.
Well, that's what he apparently with Chris.
I was actually supposed to be the Scorpion King, but I was on the can at the time when they called.
I swear that's his excuse for not getting the George Foreman grill, is that he went to pick his kids up from school and missed the call because they wanted him to be the spokesman first instead of.
So they just went, okay, we'll call George.
Yeah, Foreman. Who's second on the call sheet?
Wait.
No, never wait till he gets home. And no one else was in the house. No one else could have possibly taken that call. But he also, very funny. After this match, after the match we reviewed, Hogan turns babyface full-fledged. The next month, he beats Triple H for the world title, which I can't imagine was initially in their plans for Triple H's title reign. But now he's arguably the second biggest babyface in the company, and he's just come back from quad surgery and had like his big triumphant WrestleMania moment. And they give the belt to Hogan for a month, and then he loses it to The Undertaker, which is also a very funny program because The Undertaker drags Hulk Hogan around the backstage area on his motorcycle with a chain. Like he ties a chain to Hulk Hogan's legs and then very gently drives his motorcycle around the backstage area. Just like
don't give it too much juice, Taker.
listen, brother. These things got juice. I know it. Please.
Listen, brother. These tights are really thin.
I believe that this is, as my theme song says, American made.
And he came out when he turned babyface. He came out to Voodoo Child, right?
No, he came out to Real American.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Vince is like, hey. Listen,
yeah.
What do I look like?
They switched him back to the red and yellow, and then
for some reason, I thought he came out to Voodoo Child when he came, because I remember being at one point seeing Hulk Hogan come out to Voodoo Child in the red and yellow on WWE program.
I could be wrong, but I believe it was Real American, unless it was cheaper to pay Hendrix than it was to pay Rick Derringer.
Yeah. Rick Derringer's like, how much is Hendrix asking for? I need $2 million.
And the last thing that we could go over, because I found a whole article of Hulk Hogan's lies that you can peruse at your own leisure from the Sportster. That's very funny. He said that he almost got killed in Puerto Rico a few months before Bruiser Brody. He claimed that he was with Kerry Von Erich on a flight to Japan right before Kerry Von Erich died, which is a lie that doesn't why lie doesn't make any sense.
It is. I'm listening to it now. It is a very, very obvious ripoff of Voodoo Child.
Oh, okay. That's Oh, of course, he lied about getting a front row ticket for a Make-A-Wish kid at Wembley Stadium, who passed away during the show, which never happened.
He wrote a song about it.
Yeah. That he got scouted by the Yankees in high school, which he was almost the bass player for Metallica. He wrestled 400 days in 1 year due to time travel. He outdrank Jim Belushi, he outdrank John Belushi after WrestleMania 2, which took place in 1986. and I believe that
And
John
John
Belushi
Belushi had
was,
been dead for a while.
yeah, long dead. Same thing with,
He said he was sorry about the N-word thing.
yeah, and then told the wrestlers to just be aware that anyone could be recording you at any time, which definitely negates what appeared to be an apology. He he got every single, I'd never heard this one before. He got every single detail about the Montreal screw job incorrect. Whenever he was commenting on it. He also said that Elvis was a big fan of his. Hogan didn't start wrestling.
He said Hebner went into business for
Yeah.
himself.
Hogan didn't start wrestling until 1979. Checks record, Elvis Presley died in 1977. So, well, he says Brett said, I'm not losing to Shawn in Canada. And Shawn went out there and pulled a fast one on Brett and held him down and pinned him, and Brett couldn't do anything about it. The so-called excellence of execution was supposed to be the greatest wrestler of all. Teeny tiny Shawn Michaels held him down and embarrassed him, though.
when we all know Shawn Michaels had him in a bullshit sharpshooter.
Yeah.
And Earl Hebner just rang the bell.
He's just never seen the tape, brother.
Yeah.
I had mentioned to you that, like, Hulk Hogan, of course, I consider him a classic grifter among grifters. He's like a carny till the very end. And the very end was a few weeks ago. Bubba the Love Sponge, who, if you'll remember, is the guy that released the Hulk Hogan sex tape, formerly Hulk Hogan's best friend, came out and said that Hogan was in real bad shape. It was on his deathbed. And immediately they went into spin control. Hulk Hogan's wife came out and said he had a neck procedure, but he's doing fine. He had been in the hospital for follow-up to that, but nothing major. And then just yesterday, Jimmy Hart released a statement saying Hulk Hogan's fine. Everything's great. He's no selling it, of course, brother. He's quoted as saying Hulk is doing great, doing phenomenal. Last night at karaoke with Nick was absolutely fantastic, baby. Hart posted on Tuesday to X, and then Wednesday morning.
I don't understand why. Like, this is like it's a common thing for people to do, and like when people are dying, to say that they're not dying, and I just don't understand why they do that, because because people would say privacy, but it's like you are. It's the same lack of privacy. You're still commenting on it.
Right.
Like, does privacy only like cover, like, it's only private if it's private if it's a lie, you know what I mean? If you're betraying privacy if you're telling the truth. It's like, just be honest. Like, it came out recently that Hulk had lost the ability to speak, and like that was like a few days, like a week ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, and
didn't look good.
It's awful, and I think it's one of those things where it's like maybe you don't want to admit that the worst thing is happening, you know. But it's like it's such a pro wrestler move to be like, no, doing phenomenal, everything's great. And then,
are we sure Jimmy Hart's alive?
Yeah, like, you know. So it's interesting. You know, the lasting effect of Hogan. I've got a couple of Hogan episodes in the pipeline. I was working on one for Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter, one of the worst angles of all time. You know, it's like, because the fabric of pro wrestling is like completely hand in hand with Hulk Hogan. So, you know, and again, not to say that excuses any of Hulk Hogan's actions or makes Hulk Hogan a good dude. I'm not glad that he's dead, because he's, you know, that, you know, to the people that he cared about and cared about him, it's tragic. But
and it's people's prerogative to choose to forgive him for the things that he did. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying I don't know how I feel about it. Like, he publicly said sorry, as we talked about. We don't know. I don't know the guy. I don't know if I don't know if I'm sure he did feel bad, you know, at some point, to some degree, like whether that was he felt bad that he got caught, or he felt bad that, you know, he said some things that, that really actually did make him reflect on things. Nobody knows.
Right.
Like, anybody can speculate. I could tell you right now he meant it, or somebody could tell me right now that he didn't mean it. None of us know.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just a weird little dance that we have to do all the time. And so it's like, we have to acknowledge, we have to be fair, and I think we've been pretty fair. Like, he meant a lot to wrestling.
Yeah.
Wrestling means a lot to us. I had a lot of fun making fun of the WCW era, and I
Right.
talked a lot of shit on Hulk Hogan about all that stuff, and he deserved all of that. But then we watched the Andre stuff, and those matches sucked. But Hulk Hogan was so entertaining the whole time.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Dungeon of Doom. There's no Hulkamaniacs here. It's not hot bullshit.
Right.
And that's stupid but hilarious. He constantly talked like he was on a children's show, and like, so I love, from afar, I love characters. I love like interesting people, as long as they're not like actively victimizing people. You know what I mean? It's like,
well,
I love to watch people like that from afar.
It's just a fascinating character study. Like, why is he this way? Why did he do those things? It's the same with Ric Flair. It's all the same questions that I have for Ric Flair of like, why in every story does it have to connect to you also? Like, it couldn't just be the terrible tragedy of Bruiser Brody. It's got to be, if it's Flair, oh, I was there when it happened. And if it's Hogan, it's, oh, it almost happened to me too. Like, so it's and wrestling is just full of those guys. And it's, I guess maybe not to get too deep on it, but any person that secondhand, or through their entertainment, it's weird when they die or when something happens. The feelings of it are always strange to me, because like you said, I don't know Hulk Hogan, so I don't know that I'm personally sad that he passed away, because I don't know him, but it's it's an integral part of this thing that I do care about a lot, and he's an integral part of that. So yeah, I think I hope that we've been fair. I it's hard to talk about any of these things, but like, that match that we watched is great. There's a ton of things that are fun to make fun of. Like, I would love to do a Dungeon of Doom deep dive, even though there's not a single good match in any one of those things.
I wish we could figure out how to not get sued and like do a live watch of like a Mystery Science Theater style live watch of some of the Dungeon and Doom vignettes and stuff like that. But I feel like, not sued, but they just like they would just block the video.
It would get struck down, yeah.
But what I'm gonna do pretty soon is we're gonna test it. I'm gonna try to appeal a copyright strike under like fair use, and see if we can get away with that, because a lot of people do this stuff, and we don't get away with it. So I got to figure that out. But like, I truly, like, if there is anything after death, I hope, everything's peaceful for him. And like, I hope his family's cool. And like, I know they're not cool. Like, I hope his family's as good as possible currently.
Right.
And they get through it well. And all of that. Did you see the Andrew Yang tweet when Ozzy died, by the way?
No, I don't think I did.
He said something like, "Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne, a true American icon."
Oh man. That's tough. That's
immediately disqualifies him from politics.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'd rather vote for a warmonger than somebody who tries to be cool and says, "Rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne," and thinks he's American.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's something that we could maybe end on, because I'm having a difficult time finding the button for this episode. I didn't know that the Beastie Boys song "Rhymin' and Stealin'" uses the riff from a Black Sabbath song called "Sweet Leaf," until I heard "Sweet Leaf" played by Black Sabbath during like I don't know if they played it at the final concert, but I've got a bunch of Black Sabbath stuff in my feed, because of that final concert, and I heard the riff and I was like, oh, that's from the I know that from the Beastie Boys song. And so that was like, so now that's a new discovery for me, and I'm going back and I'm listening to all this old Black Sabbath stuff that I missed, because guess what? My very religious mother would not let me listen to Black Sabbath in the house.
My dad the other day finally admitted, he was like, I didn't listen to Black Sabbath because of devil stuff, but I've listened to some recently and it's pretty good.
Yeah, it turns out pretty good.
It's right up my dad's alley.
Yeah,
like, he loves Zeppelin.
It's
I don't know.
I mean, it rocks. I've been listening to NIB like every day for a week, and it rules.
Yeah.
So, thank you everybody who listens. We appreciate it. Give us any of your feedback, any comments that you have. We would appreciate those. We're going to be back next week for another deep dive episode, right in the middle of the Attitude Era, right in Andrew's wheelhouse. We're going to be talking New Age Outlaws.
Hell yeah!
In case you
weren't you were sending me a different deep
dive
yesterday.
That's right. We're doing. Okay, here.
I was like, wait.
No. That's right.
Are we on Earth 661?
No, yeah, we're on. Sorry, that was Earth 828. On this Prime Earth, we're doing. I switched it because I wanted a fun one. We're doing Jake the Snake versus the model Rick Martel. And one of the silliest things that ever happened, but was deeply important to 7-year-old Dusty.
I'm so excited for this. I love Jake the Snake. I feel like he's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've seen Rick Martel other than this, but I remember the. Let me try to get there, Dusty. I think it's 1997. No, it's not 19. Is it 1997? No, it's earlier than that. Early 90s. Is it a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam match with him and Shawn Michaels, where neither of they can't touch the face?
Yes.
They didn't want to hurt each other's faces. It's outdoors.
Yep.
Is it in England? Is it the England card?
It is SummerSlam 92. You were right there, man.
And that's in England?
That's in England, yep.
Hell yeah, dude. I couldn't commit to it, but I was pretty sure.
Sensational Sherry is equally interested in both men, and they want to fight. So they agree to a no punches in the face match. Yes, we have reviewed that show. Yeah, look out for the little details. Jake the Snake has a great I Do Cocaine sweater that he's wearing in the build up to this match.
I'm so excited.
I'll be able to tell a very funny story about myself and how much I was involved, how much I was engaged with this storyline in 1990. Yeah. So, look out for that. That'll be next week on the podcast. We appreciate you. Thanks to everybody who listens. And we love you. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, we love you. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan.